Good morning, students. Today, once again, I am here with the second recording on the poem Keeping Quiet. In the first recording, we learned something about the introduction of the poem, theme of the poem, about the poet, and first few lines of the poem. Now we are going to resume our study from the very next line from where we left. So, in the first few lines, we saw that the poet appeals for momentary silence and momentary inactivity to give us all a moment of introspection. And introspection, I have already explained in the previous recording, as I remember. It means looking within ourselves, right? So, looking within ourselves involves the processes of self-analysis, self-judgment, self-evaluation, and self-correction, right? So, during this period of silence and inactivity, we will all evaluate our actions, right? And in this period of momentary silence and momentary inactivity, we will also try to understand, we will try to see how destructive our actions in the world have become, right? How noisy the world has become, how aggressive and violent a place this world has become, right? So this momentary silence is full of purpose, and the purpose of this momentary silence and inactivity is to bring back peace and tranquility in the world. Clear? So now let's start. It would be an exotic moment. Without rush, without engines, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness. So the poet says in the very first line that we are going to take up now, it would be an exotic moment. Exotic means foreign, unusual, unique, something that we have never experienced before. Clear? So when we are all quiet, when we are all silent and inactive, we would feel that it is a unique moment. It is an unusual moment. The kind of moment we have never experienced. Why? Because there would be no rush. It means nobody would be hurrying to his workplace. Nobody would be madly running after or chasing his goal or target. There would be no noise made by the engines. Engines here refer to both the engines of vehicles, vehicles, and no noise produced by big factories, right? So not only we, but all our machines and machinery, everything will be on hold for some time, just for a few moments. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness, right? So how would we feel in this world, in this period of momentary silence and inactivity? We would all feel strange. Strange, the feeling of being strange. Strangeness means the feeling of being strange. It means the world will look strange to us. The earth will appear strange to us. Why? Because in this period of silence, we would feel that all the noise that we are living with in this world is created by human beings. All the ruckus is created by human beings, right? So when we are all inactive and silent, There will be no movement of vehicles. All the machines will be stopped for a few moments. There will be no noise produced by human beings, and the whole world will be a completely quiet and silent place. So we will feel strange about our own earth. The feeling will be that the earth is actually a peaceful place. All the noise is created by human beings, right? So let's move on to the next few lines. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Now the poet wants his appeal to reach the far and wide corners of this world, right? So next lines are very important. What are we doing for fulfilling our selfish ends? We are killing other creatures. And by killing other creatures, we are creating a kind of imbalance in nature. I am, not I-N. Imbalance. I-M-B-A-L-A-N-C-E. A kind of imbalance in nature. And why are we killing other creatures? Because we want to earn something by killing them. So the poet wants his appeal to reach the fishermen in the cold sea near the poles, right? So we don't see whales in day-to-day life. They live in the cold sea near the poles, right? South Pole, North Pole, I mean to say, wherever. So the fishermen who are killing whales, and what would these fishermen get in return of killing whales? They would get their bones, right? Their skin, their teeth, whatever, and by selling them they would earn money. So where on the one hand human beings are killing other creatures for earning money, on the other he is not worried about his own losses. The next line explains the same thing. And the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. And the man gathering salt. Now, the poet wants his appeal to reach those people who are engaged in self-destructive actions. Now, gathering salt. Gathering salt should not be only taken as a profession of gathering salt. No, it should be taken as self-destructive actions. Why am I saying so? See, if our hands are in contact with salt for longer time, it harms our skin. It may, in long run of time, weaken our bones also, right? So what are we doing? We are not looking at our hurt hands, that by gathering salt for long time our hands have also become hurt or injured, right? So now what does the poet want to say through these lines? By appealing to fishermen for keeping quiet for some time and being inactive for some time in the cold sea, he wants to ask him to stop his destructive actions for some time so that other creatures are not harmed and natural imbalance is not created any further anymore. And by appealing to those people who are engaged in salt gathering activity or profession, he wants to appeal for this pause or this momentary silence and inactivity, so that these people can also evaluate their actions, that their actions are harming themselves. Their actions are not harming others, but their actions are harming themselves. The poet wants to say that in the mad pursuit of money, what are we doing? We are only harming ourselves. Right? Now, next few lines. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. This again is a very important stanza. Now, after appealing to fishermen and men gathering salt, the poet wants to direct his appeal to those people who are powerful, who are rich, who govern the world, right? Who are always engaged in the mad pursuit of power, in the mad pursuit of money. Now, let's first of all see how to read this stanza first, right? So that you can understand it easily. Those who prepare green wars with gas, wars with fire. Skip the next few words. Victory with no survivors. Don't read here, right? If you want to understand this, these lines easily, read like this. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, would put on clean clothes, right? And walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing, right? So the word those who prepare green wars, the word green stands for nature, environment, right? So the poet appeals to those rich and powerful people who are harming nature, So in what ways are they harming nature? Number one, wars with gas. There are two main types of wars mentioned here. First is wars with gas. And second is wars with fire. Now, wars with gas, what does this expression mean? This expression means that those who are running after money, they have established innumerable factories in the world, and through the chimneys of these factories, harmful gases are produced, right? And those gases harm our nature, harm our environment by creating a huge amount of pollution, right? So this is the first kind of war against our nature. And what is the second kind of war? The second kind of war is with fire. Fire means here arms and ammunitions or weapons. The atom bombs, the hydrogen bombs, the napalm bombs, right? The chemical bombs, various kinds of arms and ammunitions and weapons, right? So in both these ways, right, by producing harmful gases through our factories, and second, by using harmful bombs and weapons, we are harming our nature, our mother nature, right? So in both these ways, in the first way, wars with gas, we are running for more and more money, and wars with fire, we are running for more and more power. POWER, power, right? So we must remember one thing. And what is that? That after waging wars against nature, against ourselves, what will be left? After a long time, there will be victory. Of course, there will be victory. Somebody's whole earth will be there under his command. Some may have all the wealth under their disposal, but after harming Mother Nature, this whole world will not be left worth living. Right? The environment will be fully polluted, and after that kind of massive destruction, there will be nobody left to enjoy the victory. The poet cautions here, victory with no survivors. It means the victory will be there for those who are in pursuit of power, more and more power. So many people will be killed in such kind of wars that there will be nobody left to enjoy the victory. There will be only heaps and heaps of dead bodies, and there will only be the sad scenes of destruction. Right? So the poet here, let me connect the next few lines with the first couple of lines. Now the poet, after saying those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, would put on clean clothes. Would put on clean clothes. Those people would put on clean clothes does not actually literally here means that they will change their clothes and put on clean and well ironed clothes. No. Actually here the poet asks them to change their attitude from negative to positive, from destructive to constructive, right? So from destructive to peaceful also, from harmful to peaceful. So these people who are rich, who are powerful, who are running after money, who are running after more power, would stop momentarily, just for a moment, and join us all in keeping quiet all over the world. And what would they do? What would these rich and powerful people do? They would put on clean clothes. It means they would change their mentality. Right? They would for a moment forget all about destruction. They would adopt peaceful mindset for a moment, putting on clean clothes, and walk about with their brothers. So what would these people do? They would walk about with their brothers. See, brothers, it means common people, because whenever there is destruction, there is war, the section of society that suffers most is the section in which common people live. Right? These powerful people keep themselves under tremendous protection. Right? So we, the common people, suffer the most. Right? So these rich and powerful people would spare some time, would find some time to spend with common people in the shade. In the shade means peaceful atmosphere. Shade means a covering to protect, or a cover to protect from the scorching heat of sun. Right? And the scorching heat of sun of destruction. So these people, these rich and powerful people, will spare some time to spend with the common people, trying to understand the kind of sufferings that these common people undergo. Right? And they will do nothing. For a moment, these rich and powerful people would suspend all their activities and would try to spare some time for spending with common people to understand their sufferings. right? So in this recording, this much, and I hope I have explained everything. And if there is any query, you would put there in the comment section. Yes, before I conclude, before I wind up, let me give you an allusion, a reference. This line, would put on clean clothes, it has a reference or allusion to an incident mentioned in the Bible, right? Once it happened during the time of Jesus Christ, that he asked his disciples and all those through all this sections of society living there where he lived, to change their mentality, to put on clean clothes, because there were many sins to women, right? And Jesus Christ wanted these sins to be stopped immediately. That is why he had indirectly asked his followers to change their mindset, to change their mentality towards women through the expression put on clean clothes or putting on clean clothes. So with this, I conclude this audio, and I hope you will listen to it, you will benefit from it, and when the poem is over, when there are questions, you will be able to answer those questions. So here, now I wind up. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.